No More Beige Food, written by Leanne Shirtliff, illustrated by Tina Kugler. Wilma Lee Wu sat down ready to eat, in front of some food that might have been meat. She stared at her plate, a mound of beige mush, wanting to toss it or give it a flush. "I can't," Wilma said. "Please no more beige food." Hector, her brother, just nodded and chewed. Both parents looked up. Her dad even sighed. "So go learn to cook," Mom flatly replied. The kids ran off in search of some neighbors who'd teach them to cook new food that had flavors. They spotted Kung Joe at work in his yard, tending his chilies, his sprouts, and his chard. "Will you help us?" they asked. "Fulfill a big wish and teach us to cook your tastiest dish." He thought of his favorites, chose a stir-fry. "Of course, let's go and make chicken pad thai." Kun Zhou instructed, watching with pleasure, as Wilma and Hector chopped veggies to measure. They fried and they stirred, they tasted and tried, they ate the Thai food and smiled with pride. The kids then left to look for more neighbors who'd teach them to cook new food that had flavors. "Hey, look," said Hector, "it's Senora Cruz. Let's ask her which recipe she likes to use." "Will you help us?" they asked. "Fulfill a big wish and teach us to cook your tastiest dish?" She showed them both in, gave them tortillas. "It's time," she said, "to make quesadillas." They grated the cheese, avoiding their knuckles. Salsa slopped everywhere, giving them chuckles. They fried their creations, then gobbled them too. "So yummy," said Wilma. "Senora, thank you." The kids then left to look for more neighbors who'd teach them to cook new food that had flavors. They walked up the street to see Ms. Zazar, whose backyard was filled with things quite bizarre. "Will you help us?" they asked. "Fulfill a big wish and teach us to cook your tastiest dish?" "I can," she said, "and I'm sure you will agree. Some great Lebanese food is spiced kabi." Wilma stirred pine nuts and cumin and beef. Hector shaped footballs. Some looked like a leaf. "I like this. It smells good. It's not beige or bland." They fried it, they tried it, they declared it grand. The kids then left to look for more neighbors who teach them to cook new food that had flavors. Hector yelled up to a man on a terrace. "Shh," said Wilma. "They'll hear you in Paris." But Monsieur Poutine replied with great glee, "Come in, come visit my neighbor and me." They ran up the stairs and knocked on the door. Ms. McFoo said, "Hello, I've seen you before." "Will you help us?" they asked. "Fulfill a big wish and teach us to cook your tastiest dish?" "But of course," said Monsieur, "I'd love the chance to make some frog legs from my country, France." Wilma stood silent and nearly fainted. "Oh dear," she said, "we're barely acquainted. But please, no frog legs. Oh no, just not that. Frogs are my pets. It's like cooking your cat." Monsieur laughed heartily, patted her head. "Okay, my friends, we will make mousse instead." "Mousse?" Hector wondered. But really, why not? That Monsieur Poutine must have a big pot. He brought out the eggs, the butter, and cream. They added the chocolate, all eyes agleam. They watched it cool down, then ate the mousse quick. No animal taste, just sweet lips to lick. The kids offered thanks and skipped their way home, where Dad read his book. Mom played on her phone. "We're back," said Wilma. "We're in a great mood. We know how to cook, so no more beige food."